everyone. Shavua Tov, Bezrat Hashem. We start our Thursday class, English Thursday class. Good to see you, everyone. Today we're gonna talk about a very, very important topic. I hear from a lot of people, because of the situation right now, everybody is at home. We need a lot of patience with with ourselves, with the situation, with the kids, with the family. So I decided to speak about patience. I want to talk about practically how can we be more patient, how to work on that, on this character that each one of us had and want. How important is it? What our rabbis, Chachamim, in Torah, in Kabbalah, says. Bezrat Hashem, maybe in the end of the shiur, we're going to give some good techniques. How to stay patient in hard situations. When you're really, really angry or impatient. So Bezrat Hashem, the shiur will be Leilui Nishmat, my grandfather, Israel ben Dina, Ruach Hashem tenachena began Eden, and also Mira bat Berta, Ruach Hashem tenachena began Eden. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nהיה bidvaro. Okay, so when we talk about a certain thing that we want to change in ourselves, any characteristic, if it's anger or jealousy, or chas v'shalom, if a person hates someone and he wants to change this emotion, wants to change this characteristic, the first thing to do is to learn about that. It says in the holy books that when you learn about something, that's already the solution, or the beginning of the solution. Because when we learn about something, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon says, Bechokma ivne bait. Any house you want to build, you need to have knowledge before. Anything you want to achieve, you need to have the knowledge before. And the more you know, the better the results are. That's why, if you don't study about patience, how you going to be patient? That's almost impossible. And that's a mistake of a lot of people. They say, okay, I'll work on my anger, I work on my characteristic, but they say I will work, but they don't say I will learn. And working without learning, it's not going to work. The same as we're never ever going to go to a doctor, even not for a checkup, if we know that he didn't learn to be a doctor. Yeah? Someone opens a clinic and says, hey, I'm a doctor. Nobody's going to come to him. He needs to study that for a long time, so we have the confidence, we have the trust to come and to put our body in his hands. So same thing happening in anything we want to achieve in life. If you want to change something in yourself, and each one of us need to change things, because the Gaon Mivilna says that's the purpose of life, to change. We say it every Friday night, Bezrat Hashem tomorrow night. We take the cup of the Kiddush and we say, Vaychulu hashamayim ve'aretz v'chol tzeva'am. And then at the end of this pasuk we say, Asher bara Elohim la'asot. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world to do. To do what? He did everything. No, he didn't do everything. He left the world incomplete. We have to fix it. He created us with problems. He created us with certain characteristics that we need to change. The Gaon Mivilna says that's our purpose. We have to change it. We have to work on our emotions. We have to work on about our thinking. And we have to work on our actions. So today we're going to speak about an emotion. Patient, it's an emotion state. And if we want to overcome that impatience that we have, the first thing we should do is to learn. So this class that we're giving today, it's already the solution. Without working even, we're gonna feel, we're gonna see that even without doing the techniques yet that we're gonna talk about, or the the advices that we're going to bring from the Torah and Kabbalah, it's already going to help us to be more patient, just studying that. And the more we see that lecture or other lectures that talking about the same issue, it will be better. It will become better. Because the more you study about something, the better you are in it, and the easier it's to change that thing. So Bezrat Hashem, there's a lot what to talk about. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say that it's easier to finish the whole Talmud. Yeah, the Talmud, it's one of the main books in Judaism. It's not one book. It's like a set of lots of books, more than 30 books. Very heavy books. And if we want to finish the whole Talmud in 1 year, we have to learn 7 pages a day. And every page has seven papers, means 7, it's 14 pages a day. If we want to finish it in 1 year. And if 1 page a day, you can finish it in 7 years. So he says, to change a character trait, it's more complicated, it's harder than finishing the whole Talmud. And finishing the whole Talmud with understanding, it's very hard. So a character trait is even more complicated. That's why this is something that we have to work on. But if we're going to have the will and the knowledge that I'm going to give today, we're going to see results B'ezrat Hashem right away. So there's one big Kabbalist 500 years ago. His name was Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. Yeah, the short version of his name is Ramak. Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. The Ramak, he was a great rabbi. He passed away in the age of 48. But he wrote so many books. He wrote a whole commentary on the Holy Book of Zohar, the main book in Kabbalah. And the secrets that he revealed to the world are just, we can't understand such a brain like Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. But he has another book. It seems like this book doesn't talk about Kabbalah, talks about working on our character traits, but it has a lot of Kabbalah inside. He planted the Kabbalah inside, but from the outside it seems like it's like a Musar book, ethics. This book called Tomer Dvorah. The book is actually a very powerful book. A lot of people in the world learning that book. The rabbi, one of the big Admorim, I think it was the Rav of the Tzanz Chassidut, he said that reading that book, it says Gula, has a power to overcome cancer. People that Chaz v'Shalom, nobody from Am Yisrael to have cancer, but those people that have cancer, doesn't matter where, we know that reading that book from beginning to end, and even to do it once or twice, it's helping to remove any cancer. And I know I have a story with one person that I gave him the book, and he read the book. He had cancer. There was a person who was, I think, 25 years old. He had a cancer, and I gave him that book, and he read the book, and Baruch Hashem, he had cancer stage 4, and right after that, Baruch Hashem, now he's healthy and everything is good. So this book is very powerful. Now, this book has the characteristic of God. Kivyachol. We cannot say such a thing, but Hashem says that for us to understand Him, He has a certain kind of character that we present to us. And why does Hashem is doing it? Because He wants us to be connected to Him. That's the purpose of life. When you're connected to the source of everything, you get the best pleasure. You get the biggest, highest level of everything because you connected to the source. The source of pleasure is Hashem. He wrote a book that guides you to connect yourself to God. How are you going to do that? You have to be like Him. So, first of all, understand the characteristic that God represents to the world and be like Him. When you are like Him, you're going to be connected to Him. The same way as when we see someone that is he looks like us. Like imagine you go on the street and you see someone, wow, he looks the same like me. You're going to connect to him right away. It's create a rapport. Same thing when you see someone that he has the same characteristic you have. The same behavior. That's why people, when they date, so they want to they find a partner that is a little bit like them. because then you connect to someone that is like you. He thinks like you, he behaves like you. Same thing, if we want to connect to God, we need to behave like Him. What's His characteristic? He gives that, he brings this down in the book, Tomer Dvorah, very, very good book. I recommend to everyone to read it. It's not a big book. And we have an English translation for that as well. So, when you learn that book, you can connect to God. One of the characteristics that brought down there is called in Hebrew Noseh Avon. Noseh Avon means he carry the sin. So we do a lot of sins against God. God created the world, He's the owner of the world, and He basically rules everything. But He gave us a freedom of choice. We can do against what He says. And it seems like He is okay with this. Why? Because we don't see something happens. Someone makes a sin, nothing happens to him. He's okay. He continues to live. He has money. He has food, and everything is okay. Maybe after a while something happens, but at the moment, God has that characteristic that He carry your sin on Him, and He doesn't respond right away. It's called Noseh Avon. This is a very, very high level of behavior. Because the ability to see someone does against what you want, and to live with this, and to carry that, you should be a big person to behave in a certain way. And that's basically what patience mean. When I say someone is patient, oh, you're a patient person, I want to be patient. What's that mean? That's patience mean someone does something that I don't like to me or in general, and I can carry it on myself. That's why in Hebrew, patient called savlan, liot savlani. Savlan comes from the word lisbol. Sevel is when you carry something, it's from the word sabad. You carry something on you and it's hard. You don't want to carry it, but you still carry it on you. That's patience. Patience means someone does something that I don't like. Someone behave in a certain way that I don't accept, but I make myself accept it and carry it on myself. And I don't respond back right away. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does. That's what Hashem is doing all day, every time with us. We sin, and He carried the sin, and doesn't respond right away. Doesn't give any punishment right away. So He carried that on Him. Same thing, a patient person, that's what he does, and that's the goal where he wants to be. Every person that wants to be patient, he wants to have that ability to carry those character traits, this behavior, this whatever words or things that people do that you don't like, but you still don't respond back to what they do. So for example, in marriage, we see that every time. That there's couples that the lady does things that the husband doesn't like, right? She talks in a certain way, she behaves in a certain way. A patient person would just accept what's happening. He would not respond right away. Impatient person, when he's going to see something he doesn't like, right away he's going to respond. So that's the definition of being impatient or patient. It's very important to know, because if we want to fix a character trait and be more patient with our kids, patience in life, right? We're going to talk soon about what's happening in our generation, why it's so hard to be patient in our generation, more than 50 and 100 years ago. If you look, the generation of our fathers and grandfathers, grandmothers, they were a lot more patient than us. Today people talk to me, they say, I can't stay with my kids more than 2 hours or 3 hours. They just get me crazy. Of course, people had kids also 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Ask your grandmother, the way she raised the kids. I remember myself, people had more patience back in the days. And we're going to talk, B'ezrat Hashem, about technology and how the technology changed everything in the world. So today, because of technology, one of the reasons, we don't have patience, because technology makes everything fast. Everything we do has to be fast. That's basically the title of this generation. The title of this generation is, the fast you can get a result, the better. Any result. The faster you can get money, the fastest way to get to be healthy, the fastest way to do, that's better. That's technology. Back in the days, people had a donkey. With a donkey, they travel for a few weeks until they get to another city. Now, we have a car. We have a plane. You do it in a few hours. You can travel the whole world. And that makes us impatient. Why? Because we are used to quick life. And when you get used to something, it's very hard to break it. And that's what we face in our generation. The computers. I remember first time I got a computer. Yeah, I was grade 5, I think. Yeah, the very old computer, and Windows 95 was just new at that time, and and I got the computer, and then after I got a computer, I was playing the computer, and I was so excited. Now, if you bring that computer now to me, I'm not gonna have patience even for 1 minute to sit with that computer. That computer is so slow. Super slow. Yeah? And same thing, I know people, they change their phones. So you change your phone to, you upgrade your phone. The phone, a year ago, that phone was a new phone, but now it's too slow already. We don't have patience to wait until the app is gonna come up. Why is that? Because we're getting used to things. When you get to use that everything is fast, that cause that problem of being impatient. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to try to fix that, but we have to know that we have this problem more than any other generation, and that's why this class is super important to each one of us, so we fix that character traits. And you know, Rav Shach, one of the big rabbis in the past generation, he was the Rosh Yeshiva, the head of Yeshiva of the Ponovich Yeshiva. And he basically was the main Ashkenazi rabbi of the world. And one time the Bachurim, the guys that are not married yet, they came to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, we are engaged and we want you to teach us some advices. You know, you're the head of the yeshiva. Give us some advices from your experience for what you study. What's the best way to have peace at home? Well, what's the advice to stay, you know, connected, love and everything? So Rav Shach looked at them and told them, you know, there's 3 things. 3 things, if you do those 3 things, you're going to have peace at home all the time. You're going to have a perfect house. Perfect life with your wives. So they were very excited. He says, what's the first one? So he told them patience. You have to be patient. In anything. Patient in your desires, what you want. Patient in your how you respond to the things that your wife says. Patience in everything. Patience, that's the key, that's the advice. So they said, okay, what's the second one? So he told them, patience. So they laughed. That's the first one is patience. The second one is patience. So what's the third one? He told them it's also patience. That's the only advice. If you are patient, everything will come to you. If you are patient, things will work. And I want to share with you the secret. The commentaries on the Zohar say why patience are the secret to any success. As we said, today, in our world today, everything is fast. We want to get every result fast. You want to be healthy? I want to be fast. Healthy, fast. I don't have time to wait to be healthy, to work on the health. Give me a technique that I can do it right away. People want to be smart. People want to be doctors. They want to have a certain occupation. They want it to be fast. They take a course for 2 weeks, 1 week, done. I want to get the diploma. I want to start working. That's how the world is today. There's a lot of people out there. They call themselves doctors. They call themselves healers, they call themselves whatever, specialists, they doing lectures about things, and they didn't study for much. They just study for a very short term, and that's it. I want to already, get everything. I want to be out there. This is the lie of our generation, that everything fast. The real secret, the Zohar says, that anything that comes fast never ever can be really working the right way. Because the Hashem created the world in a way that things takes time. That's a spiritual rule. Hashem did it by purpose, that things takes time. Healing process. A person has something wrong in his body, a pain. Usually, if it's not a miracle, usually it's a process. Of course, there is miracles, there is certain techniques that can help right away. But if you want to fix a problem forever, not just for a moment, for a week, for 2 weeks, if you want to be successful in something, it takes time. And that's something that our generation today, it's hard for them to accept. That you need to be patient, because we are used that everything is so quick. I remember when I studied how to slaughter. So one time we took chickens, and I gave to my mother-in-law, because she used to live in Soviet Union, and back there they didn't have like chicken ready in the store like we have today. So they actually used to slaughter the chicken, and to go to the kitchen and take all the feather out, and to put the salt, and take out the blood and everything. They did all the process. So because she knew how to do that, I was so excited that I learned that. So I took those chickens and I gave it to her, so she can prepare that. And then I saw all the work she's doing, and I said, wow, crazy, just for one chicken, to have to eat it, and for a few minutes. Yeah, we finished a chicken for the family. She worked so much. Hours of working on one chicken. Today, we can't imagine it even. We don't have we're going to just take the chicken, throw it onto the garbage. Let's go buy something ready. We don't have those patience. And that's not a good thing that happened to the world. We have to, and Bezrat Hashem, we're going to study how, Bezrat Hashem, we have to get used to be more patient, and to understand that things that work in life, it's things that takes time. Fast is not always the right thing. Things that takes time, usually the results are better. And I'll give you an example from the kitchen. Sometimes I cook, and I realized when you cook, you can put the high volume, so it's very hot, and then you get the soup ready very fast. But you can put it on low. It's gonna take more time, but guess what? It's gonna be more tasty. That's proven. That's just proven. When you put it on a low, because it's low, it takes more time. This time makes it better. I don't know how. Maybe we have to go deep into it and check why it's doing it. But I'm sure the people that are cooking, they realize that everything that takes more time, usually the result is better. So that's, first of all, we have to understand patience. That's basically the solution for most of the problem in life. When we are patient, and everything in our life, for example, with our kids, you have a kid, you want the kid to behave in a certain way. When you don't have patience, you're going to ruin the kid. Why? You're going to push him and push him and push him and push him to do something, but he's not ready for that. You can just ruin the kid. And sometimes there's no way back. He was so pushed into something he was not ready. because you didn't have patience. You wanted to see the result right away. And that's a big mistake today with educating kids. We push them to do something that they are not ready yet. We see it in schools. Today, some schools, they just don't have patience. They want to see results. So my kid went to school. I remember when I went to school, on grade 1, we just started to learn the alphabet. Grade 1, you start the alphabet. In the daycare, the kindergarten, no alphabet. You just play. That's the good life. When you get to grade 1, then the complicated things starting. You have to learn. Today, it's not like that. And most of the places in the world, they start already from, they call it preschool. Preschool, they already know how to write and how to read. So some parents, they ask me, is that good? The real answer that I give them, no. Why it's not good? Because the Torah says, Al titchok et hasha'ah. One of the worst things we can do is to bring things faster than they need to be. The kid needs to be a kid. He needs to express his childhood. When he's going to be 15, 16, he's going to suffer because he didn't have a childhood. He needed to write and read from preschool. He didn't have that time of freedom because that's not the time. That's why we have a Mishnah in Masechet Avot that says for anything in life there is a time. There is a time when you start to learn with your kid a certain psukim. When he's 3 years old, you just read Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Torah tziva lanu Moshe Morasha Kilat Yaakov. When he gets to 5 years old, you start to learn the Torah with him. The written Torah. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim. Just reading it. Not understanding too much. And for a certain small amount of time. Then the Mishnah says when he gets to 10 years old, what you learn and how you learn, how you behave with him. Because every age has the time that he needs. And we cannot bring the time before. That's not good. That we to not have patience, it's just basically ruining the education of our kid. Same thing as certain men or women that they want to get married, but they're not ready for it. Yeah? And again, it's very hard to say if you're ready or not ready. There's a certain age that already you have to get married, but you have to be ready and understand and learn about that. Sometimes you jump too early. And then, when you jump too early for a business, for a marriage, educating kids, you push something, it's always, the result is not going to be the right result. So, that's the importance of patience, and we have to work on that. So, Bezrat Hashem, just few examples more. What's the source of patience? So, okay, I want to change. I want to be more patient. And we all know that that's good. But how do we do that? So, first of all, everything we want to change in life, we have to know the source of it. When you know the source, you change the source. So, those things are gonna come automatically. The other things. What's the source of the characteristic? They're called patience. Yeah, the character trait. It says in the Torah about Moshe Rabbeinu, our leader, that Hashem, he was praising him on something. A praise, I never saw such a praise, that God praise a human being. The Pasuk says on Moshe Rabbeinu, Ve'a'ish Moshe, and Moshe the man, Anav mikol ha'adam asher al pnei adama. He's the most humble person that exists on land, on earth. Moshe is the most humble man exists on earth. That's what God says on him. Being humble, in the same place, in the same pasuk, Rashi says, what's humble mean? So look what Rashi says. Humble means savlan, a patient person. How do I know if I'm humble or not humble? If you do have patience, The patience is the result of being humble. Humble means no ego. And the result of no ego, which is humble, is being patient. So if you have an ego and you try to work on your patience, guess what? You're not going to be successful. It's just not going to work. Because you try to work on the result, but the source is not good. Yeah, it's like a tree. If the roots of the tree are sick, there's a problem in the roots, the fruits also are going to have that problem. It's impossible to make the fruits look good when the roots are not good. The root is humbleness. The root is to not have ego, to work on that. And we're going to be more specific in a moment. How to be humble. What's that mean to be humble? There's two main things that a humble person has, or an ego person has. It says in the holy books, what's ego means? What's ego? That make me impatient, right? It says the ego is the feeling that I'm better than others. That feeling that we have, that we feel, sometimes we don't express that to others, but that's what we think inside, that I'm more skilled than others, I'm smarter than others, I'm just better. This type of thinking that all of us have in a certain level, someone has it more, someone has it less, but we do have ego because we were born with that ego, that I am something and I'm better than others. For example, you can see it for people that, let's say someone makes a speech and he talks about something, and then you have that thought in your mind and you say, this guy doesn't know how to talk, I'm better than him. If they would give me to talk, it would be better. This means you think you're better than others. And those type of thinking that comes, those thoughts that comes to us, just show us that we have an ego. So that, this thought that coming to our mind, this feeling that we have, that we are better than others, this is the first source of being impatient. If we're going to remove that, means work on understand that everyone is the same level. Why would I be better than someone else? Why would I need to be better treated than someone else? The answer is, there's no answer. You should not. But we have that thinking. Remove this, to remove this feeling will remove the impatient. Means we're going to be more patient. We're going to have the ability to be patient. The second thing is the feeling that I deserve everything. Magia li. I deserve that people will treat me in a certain way. I deserve that people will respect me. I deserve. If you think you deserve and everything, everybody should just treat you well and do everything for you because you deserve, that means you have a big ego. And each one of us, we do have it. We were born with this. This is the mission of life, to work on those things. But when we remove it, automatically we are going to be people that have patience. Why? Because a humble person can carry on himself any behavior of the external world, of the other people in the world. Doesn't matter what people do, I don't think that I deserve more. I don't think that I'm better. So I don't get angry. I don't get mad. And I have patience. I'm just relaxed and I'm okay with this because I understand the other person. I'm not better than him. So this is the source. That's what the Zohar HaKadosh say. The source of being patient is to work on our ego, Removing the ego is remove those two feelings of I deserve and the feeling of I'm better than others. So that's the first thing we should work on. By the way, one of the ways to work on it is to ask that question. When you feel that feeling, you have to ask yourself, do I deserve? Do I deserve people doing that to me? And you will see that your mind says, not necessarily. And then the change comes. You become more humble. When you are aware of that, of the ego, you have the ability to work on the ego. And any character traits, any things in life, when you are aware, because we do things in life unconscious. We don't pay attention. Someone gets angry, gets mad, you don't pay attention to that just happening. The system of our mind, that's what it does. Because we're used to it. Because that's a part of us. That's a part of our behavior, of our beliefs. But when you get your unconscious to a conscious level, by asking the question, do I deserve? By asking the question, like we said, do I better than others? Ask it, even say it out loud. I'm better than him? No. The more you say that, the more you become humble. Just be aware of this. We don't take this question out of us. We do think we are better than others. We do have that ego, but we don't work on it because we never ask that question. Do we? No, we are not. We're all the same. And by the way, that's another thing, but that's one of the reasons some people have a problem to connect to others. You know how to make a rapport? A connection. You want someone to love you? It's very easy. Just don't let him feel that you're better than him. Same thing is with kids. By the way, that's, I think, one of the biggest rules in educating kids. When you show your kids that you are better than him, I do and you don't do, you see, I'm able and you're not able, I'm old and you're small, I'm higher than you. When you give the kid that feeling, it's not going to connect to you. And there's a lot of parents that tell me, Rabbi, my kid doesn't want to, be with me, always runs away, we're not connected. Why? Because he feels that feeling. We pick our friends by this thing. When we see someone that we relate to him, he doesn't feel that he is above me. So I want to connect to him. That's what makes connections. If you want to connect to your wife, or your wife a lady wants to connect to her husband, just don't make him feel that you're better than him. By saying certain statements like, oh, you see, I did this, but you didn't. This is already disconnect between people. This is ego. You want to show the other person that you are better than him because you able and you did and she or he didn't. That's the mistake. That's the ego coming out. That's why we don't have patience, because we still have that ego. That we have to clear it. So again, one technique that we already said is just ask that question. Do I better than others? No, I'm not. So let's not behave like this. Let's not talk like this. That's first. Second, by the way, Rav Aryeh Levin, one of the great rabbis of the past generation, he said, when a guy or a girl goes to a date, what's the most important character traits it should look for? For a husband or for a wife? He says it's patience. If you have patience, you have everything. You have to see, because if that lady can carry your mistakes on her, means she's patient. So it doesn't matter what, your life is going to be easier. Because you have a strong person with you. He can carry your when you fall. He can carry that, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing. He carry our sins. He is savlan. He's patient. And he's willing to wait until you fix. He forgive. You did something, it doesn't respond right away. He forgive and give you time to fix yourself. Sometimes Hashem does it for 90 years, 100 years. I know people that are big sinners. 80 years. He's 80 years old and he's doing very, very bad sins every day. And I ask myself, why does Hashem, make him live so much? And the answer is because Hashem wants to show us how patient you have to be. He is doing against God for 80 years. Hashem is still patient, is waiting for that moment that he maybe will come back to him. That's the goal that we want to achieve. That patience that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have noseh avon. And then you connect to God. When you have that, you connect to Hashem. You get a big amount of pleasure. Because you connect to God, you become like Him. So, let's give some practical things. How do we work on our patience? So, Rabbi Volbe, again, one of the biggest spiritual people in the past generation, Rabbi Volbe, we call him the psychologist of the yeshivas. Before psychology was published in the world, he was writing in his books the deep psychology of the Torah, of the human being. And he says that being patient, if you want to be patient, it's like you have to work on it like you work in a gym. Person that wants to have a muscles, workout, he goes to the gym. You work out, it's hard, but then you see slowly, after a while, the muscle starts to grow. Same thing is being patient. If you want to change your character trait, you are getting mad very, very fast. You can't hold yourself when your kids do something, or when your wife or when your husband does something. You right away you respond and you don't have patience. You want everything to be fast. The way to work on it, according to Rabbi Volbe, is to do something again and again and again. To do what? Work on that particular thing of being patient for a certain time, a lot of times. So he says, for example, he told his students, and the first year when they get married, when they get home after learning or after work, first hour for I don't remember if it was a half an hour or an hour, okay, but let's say in half an hour. First half an hour, they had a spiritual work to not say any criticism, to not say nothing negative from their mouth, nothing. First, just for half an hour. Do it every day. From the second you get married, the first half an hour when you come home, no negativity at all. No criticism to anything. Why did Rabbi Volbe says only for half an hour? We should be like that the whole day. It's not good to criticize. That's one of the things that they destroy houses, destroy marriage, to criticize. Worst thing. So why didn't the rabbi say, take this character trait and just don't criticize us at all? The reason he said that, because he knows you cannot work out too much. You have to work out every muscle a little bit. That's why you start with something small you can do. You start with something you can do, just for half an hour. And you will see that slowly that muscle grow. So we work on patience. Be patient. Don't criticize when you come home. Just take upon yourself. First hour when you come home, no criticism. Just being patient. Wait after 1 hour. After 1 hour, you are allowed to. And by the way, you will see that you will not do that. Because usually it comes in the beginning. When you overcome it already, that's it, you are there. So, first hour, when you come home, or decide a certain hour in your day. That's the technique of Rabbi Wolbe. Decide a certain hour during your day. It can be, if it's very hard, someone that really, really doesn't have patience, so start in the morning. In the morning, every morning, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'm going to do things very slow. I'm going to have patience to anything that happens to me at that hour. I'm just going to be patient. Not a rush. I remember when I was in yeshiva, so we had a house, and each one of the students, we slept in the yeshiva, so we had in that house, so each one had a room. So we were like maybe 10 people in one house, and me and I was a very, slow motion guy in the morning. I like to do everything slow. I make my tea, I make my coffee, and I do Birkot HaShachar, like slow. I had a friend that he was like, the opposite of me. But like the real opposite of me. He was so fast and boom, boom, going there, going here, going. And when he was looking at me in the morning, he got mad at me. Not because I did something to him, it's because I'm so different than him. And he couldn't, like, it was even hard for him. He says, I cannot see you. That's what he told me. Why? Because you're so the opposite. Wake up and, do the things fast. So, why am I saying it to you? Because I told him after that, if you want to like me, you have to behave like me. So if you're going to try, I don't have to change. It's your problem. You have to change. So what you have to do is just try to also work on your patience in the morning. Try to do things, more slow, and you will see that you're more relaxed. And I told him, just do it for a certain time. Don't do it the whole day, because you're not kind of a person. And he really did that, and he felt the change. That now he doesn't have a problem with me because he's the same. So sometimes we have conflicts. We have with people, we dislike certain people because they are the opposite of us. What we have to do is just to behave a little bit like them for a certain time of the day. You don't have to do it the whole day. Just do a little bit of that, and you will create a rapport. You will create a connection. And that's the way. Just take a little bit and work on that. I'm going to be patient from 7 to 8. Now, certain ladies, after they hear this class, they say, okay, that's it. I'm going to pick up a time, the time that I put the kids to sleep when I put them in the shower. That's not a good time for beginning. Why? Because that's the hardest time. Yeah, that all the problems coming up. Pick a time that's going to be easier for you. After a month or so, or after a few weeks, now take for 2 hours. I'm going to do 2 hours of patience. I'm patient only for 2 hours during the day. Not the whole day, just 2 hours, just 1 hour. From that hour to that hour, that's my patient time. And then you will see that all your body will shift. And you will become a patient person. That's the secret of Rabbi Wolbe. You can take that technique to other character traits. But for patient, it works very, very good. So that's one thing. The second thing is the Ramban, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman. He lived 750 years ago. Was a big Kabbalist. And he wrote a letter to his son. In that letter, he told his son, I want you to read that letter every day. Because in that letter, I give you all the secrets of life. How you prepare yourself to growth. Spiritual growth. And it's called Igeret HaRambam. It's a very famous letter that a lot of people, they have the custom to read it every day after the prayer of Shacharit, the morning prayer. And that's a very good custom. And there's one sentence there that is super important, and it's actually a technique how to be more patient in life. So the Ramban says the following. The Ramban says like this. He told his son that every day, make sure that when you speak, you don't speak too loud. You speak like, in a lower voice. Don't speak too loud. And when you're going to speak in a low voice, that's going to cause automatically that you're not going to get angry. Because our body affects our emotions, affects our thinking and our soul. After our actions, the emotions are affected by the action. For example, I would, if you want to, you can do that technique with me right now. Try to imagine, try to imagine, if you want, you can close your eyes as well. It's a cool thing, okay? Try to imagine right now that a situation in your life that you were super successful. You wanted something and you just nailed it. You did it. You worked for it and you did it. Remember a situation in your life that's what happened. Just imagine right now. Try to feel what you felt there. Try to smell what you smell. Taste what you taste. Feel the feeling. Feel the atmosphere. Feel how that feeling like you are there right now, because the power of imagination is the same as the power of reality, and even stronger. So feel that, and while you feel that, I want you to also breathe like the way you breathe at that time, and stand. Your shoulders, your hands, stand in the same way of that victory that you did it. And realize that you stand like very, certain, you feel fulfilled. And now, let's shift that imagination. Let's imagine something opposite, like a time in your life that you were unsuccessful. You did something, but it didn't work, and you fell. Try to remember that. Try to feel what you felt. Try to breathe the same way you breathe. Your head in the same position, your shoulders, your body in the same position. Right? And now, still think about that bad thinking, about that time that you were unsuccessful, but just the body. Think about that time. Imagine that time, that negative time. But now, in the body, shift the body to that position of that victory. Just the body. And look what happened. Usually what's going to happen to everyone, that negative feeling is going to go away right away. Why? Because the body affects the emotion right away. When you stand in a stand of victory, of positivity, even if you think negative things, you can't. That's what the Ramban says right here. After your actions, your emotions are affected by your actions. So if I'm gonna always speak in a low voice, and angry people, impatient people, they speak very loud. If I'm going to do the opposite, it means I'm going to be automatically patient. And the more I do that, the more patient I become. That's the secret of Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, the Ramban, 750 years ago. And that's what he said to his son. Every day, make sure you are used to talk not in a high volume. The lower you can. The lower you do, the less angry you are, and angry means impatient. So that's another technique we can do And by the way, you can do it right away. Let's say you see that you're too, you feel too stressed or whatever, you don't have patience for something, or your kids or someone in the work. Right away, try to shift your voice. Start to talk very calm, very relaxed. Just shift the voice, and you will see how the emotion change right away. So that's another way. There is another way to work on it. And that's brought down in the books. That's our belief. Our belief system affect our emotions. So when you believe that you will get what you need to get at the time that you need to get, and that's what Torah teaches, when you really believe that, you will be patient. Because I'm impatient because I think that I can change. I think that I can get it faster. I want to get it faster. But when you understand that Hashem rules the world, and the more you say it, the more you believe it, the more you believe it, the more you feel it. When you say everything is by Hashem, Hashem is doing everything on time. Yeah? There's some people that always, they rush. They want to get married, they want to do money, they want to do this. Patience, sablanut. Why? Hashem will give you what you need at that time. If you didn't get it right now, it's because now you don't need it. Don't try to bring it faster. As we said in the beginning, the results are going to just be worse. Try to wait and being patient that Hashem will give you. Rabbi Nachman from Breslev, he got to one of the highest level in this spiritual work. He was even for money and any other thing, he says, I want Hashem to give it to me. I'm just going to do a small thing, small effort. I want to see how God is giving it to me on time. The same way that God make the lion, he brings him his food on time. The lion goes on the street and see the zebra. Who brought the zebra there? Hashem. At the time that he needs to eat that zebra. Same thing, Hashem is doing it to us. We have to be patient. We will get the amount of money that we need at the time that Hashem decides. We have to always think like that, talk like that. The more we talk like this to our kids, they will have more emunah, more trust, more faith, and they will have more patience when they grow. When we say it to our kids, basically we say it to ourselves as well. We basically hypnotize ourselves and them at that belief. We shift the belief. We believe that everything is for Hashem and everything comes on time, so we don't rush, so we are patient. The more you talk about this, the more you believe in it, this is going to be your feeling. So that's the other technique. So we don't have a lot of time already, but I would like to do something cool with you. Actually, it's a gift for me, that each one of us, and every time that we feel that we don't have patience anymore, and we're just about to explode, or whatever happens, we want to be angry now, like the anger comes out and there's no patience, and someone makes me crazy. I want to give you a gift to do something very, very, very simple that right away will calm you down. So yeah, that's like, I call this technique, I'll tell you how I call this, kaftor kesem, the magic button. The magic button. There's a certain button in our body that I'm going to show it to you, that when you press that button, you become relaxed and calm and everything is good. Okay, where is that button? So we create that button. And if you're going to follow with me right now, I'm going to create that button in each one of us. So we're going to do something like a small meditation. Okay? Each one, just feel relaxed in wherever you sit. And that's really important thing, because that's, again, we're going to create something that every time that we feel that we don't have patience, we right away will come down, and it really works. I tried it a lot of times. So sit whatever you sit, just take a deep breath in and exhale. Take it out, exactly, and feel that you're relaxed. And every breath you take, every breath you take, the better you feel. And just do it in your own time, whatever, like in your rhythm. And take again another breath in and breath out. And just allow yourself to close your eyes for one moment. And just, I want you to imagine right now yourself in a very, very good place. Yeah, a good place, a place of pleasure, something that happened to you somewhere in your life that you really, really liked, a place that you were relaxed, a place that you were happy, a place that everything was fine, was good, and you want to come back to that place. Okay? And in a moment when I count till 3, I just want you to emerge again, open your eyes, and just remember that time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, we can open our eyes. And now, if you can look at me, we have our hand, right? And in our hand, we have the fingers. And where the finger begin, there is, those bones that we have. You see those bones? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, those bones. So, yeah, when you do this, when you close your hand, so you have those bones. I want you to realize that bone, the first bone of the first of the etzba, yeah, of the first finger, this bone, okay, and take your finger of the left, the left finger, and when I tell you to touch, I just want you to touch that bone. Just touch it and hold it. When I'm gonna tell you to touch in a moment, just touch it every time. When I tell you to release it, just release it. Okay, when I tell you to touch it until I tell you to release it. And we're going to do something very cool that will, Be'ezrat Hashem, help us to be patient. So if you can take another breath in and a breath out, and another one, take a breath in and exhale that out. Exactly. And feel relaxed. Feel that every muscle and every nerve in your body is relaxing right now. Exactly. So now, allow yourself to close your eyes, if you want to, and just imagine that place again. That place in your life, whatever, it can be any age. Some people, they go very back. Some people, it's like when they got married, when they had a child. Some people, it's in their childhood with the grandmother and grandfather. It doesn't matter what, just feel what you felt. And when you feel that, I want you to press, to hold the finger on that bone. Just hold it and just feel the moment, okay? Just hold it there. Press that bone. Exactly. And feel what you felt, smell what you smell, like you are there right now. And now release that. And now I want you to think, I want to think about on a time in your life. Yeah, still close your eyes. I want you to think about a time in your life that you were very, very relaxed and patient. So at that time, I don't know, maybe it was on you saw the sea, or just you were in nature, or you were so relaxed that nobody in the world could make you unpatient or something like that, or angry. A moment in your life, and when you have that moment, please press on that bone again, just hold it there, and just feel like you are there right now. Feel what you feel. Feel the experience. Even stand at the same position. Your breath, your heartbeats, the same. Everything like it was there while you hold this bone. Exactly where you touch it. Exactly. And now, just release it again. Release it again. And now I want you to imagine a time in your life that you almost got angry on someone, but you hold yourself. You really, really, you were patient. It was about to happen, but you did it. You hold yourself and you were just relaxed and you said to yourself, you know what? Why should I get angry? You just overcome that. Feel after what you felt. I want you to feel that. And when you feel that, the feeling that you did it. And if you didn't have a time in your life, just imagine that you are having a time like that. Let's say right now even. Just imagine it. We can imagine anything that we had a situation that we almost got angry, but we overcome it and we did it. And now feel the feeling after of doing it, of overcoming your anger. And now touch the bone. When you feel that feeling, that great feeling of the victory, that you overcome that. And now I want you to double the feeling. Double it, just feel it better. And I want you to triple the feeling. And I want you to go back and still touch it, don't release it. I want you to go back to that very beautiful, happy place, moment in your life that you were there. And just still touch that bone. Touch that bone. When you feel that you are there, and all those feelings together, the feeling of that victory that you overcome, and now you're a patient person, and that place that you are super relaxed and nobody can make you mad or something like that, I want those feelings to come together and multiply them. And feel that amazing feeling. And now triple the feeling while you are touching that bone. Okay, and now I want you to release that bone. And now we're going to do something, last imagination. Now I want you to imagine a place that something that you were, that people praised you. You did something and like people said, wow, you're an amazing person. How did you do that? Doesn't matter what in your life. It could be I don't know, a test that you did. It could be a good thing. You were very kind to people and you did a mitzvah or something. Anything in your life that you did it and people said like, wow. And feel that feeling right now when you touch, again, that bone with a finger. And feel that moment right now that you are there. See what you saw. Feel what you felt. Smell what you smelled. Exactly. And now, I want you to double the good feeling. Just double it. Like imagine that it could be doubled. And now triple the feeling while you touch that bone. And now you can release it. And you can open your eyes. And now, what did I do right now is basically anything that we imagine, our subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference between reality and imagination. And that's why for your mind that you imagine was like reality. The cool thing here that we connected the feeling with a certain touch in our body. So I just want you to now randomly touch that moment, touch that place, and just try to feel what's happening. What do you feel right now? You feel very good. You feel very relaxed. Super relaxed. And I want to tell you that this button is working forever. Means anytime you will feel something uncomfortable, anytime in your life that you will feel something that is that you want to get mad on something, or you have no patience for something, right away when you're going to touch that button, you're going to see that things are going to, because those things that you imagine right now, those good feelings, are going to appear right away. So that's my gift to you. I use it all the time. And Bezrat Hashem, I hope with all the knowledge that we studied today and all the Rabbanim that we mentioned, dear Schut, dear merit, will Bezrat Hashem help each one of us to be more patient with our life, to not rush to any place, because you will get what you need to get. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what you need and He will give it to you on time. Don't rush life. And just take things easier with a trust in God, with a belief in God. And Also, what the Ramban says, let's try to speak to everyone, not just at home, everyone, to speak more calm, more relaxed, not very loud, with a low voice. This will help us as well. And Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should send each one of us a lot of blessings, a lot of success.